My only other concern though is there may be a few too many of these flower buds. I just feel that there's just a bit too many of them. You know, these buds that are running along here, there's way too many. I think I'll pull that back a bit. So again, I'm just going to zero it back out on the age. And I'm going to reduce the buds. I know that the buds here are number one on the list. So it's leaf, he calls them leaf, but it's going to be mesh one here. So instead of 5%, I'm going to drop that back to 2% on all of these young, old, and main branches. It automatically adjusts itself percentage-wise on the last texture here to take into account anything you're changing up here. Leaf 2 is the open flower, and I think that was okay. Let's regrow it again and have a look. Stop it there. And a bit better. So you have the reverse shot. Alright, let me have a look. Very nice. Are you using Marmoset here? I just see the background image. I'm just wondering whether you're using Marmoset to do your rendering out. Yeah. I think it's called Marmoset. Yeah. That's really cool, dude. I really like this. I like the detail you've got going in here. And the cows, right? Let's have a look at the cows. Oh, nice. Oh, it's just a HDR map in Blender? Okay, cool. Nice. The shadowing and stuff is looking really cool. Very smooth, very nice. Nice rendering for Blender. Really nice. That looks really cool, dude. Really cool. Yeah, really nice. I can't wait to see you texture it up. It'll look really good. Yeah, it is. It's a really nice job. Very nice. And like I said, textured up, it's just going to look great, really great. Nice job. Alright, let's have a quick look here and see. You know, again, I really feel like there's probably way too many buds still. Not way too many, but still too many. And you know, yeah, I think there's too many bugs. I'm just going to zero this back out again. My favourite is that small step at the very bottom of the lower cowl, where the bottom airfoil meets the lower cowl. You're talking about through here. So you're talking about where that airfoil meets the cowl here. What's your favourite part? The whole thing looks great. I really like this here as well. This air intake is really cool. Really nice. Really nice job. You've got a nice hard edge here and a nice soft edge here, which is good. Well, you know what I mean. The center line at the very front. You're talking about the cowl one here though, aren't you? Like I said, I really like this intake. That looks really cool. Just through here, it's really nicely done. No, it is, it looks great. Hey Sniper Echo, how are you? Lower cowl, okay. Yeah, how are you Sniper Echo? I hope you had a good Christmas and New Year. No, it's looking really cool, Garland. Like I said, once it's textured up, I'm looking forward to seeing it textured up. It'll look really cool. Just the mechanical fitting on the two pieces. Yep. No, like I said, it's looking really good. I'm going to knock this back a little bit more as well. I still don't want all those buds on there, so I'm going to go back to 1% on them. Let's regrow it again and have a look. That's better. There aren't as many buds now because we're just getting overwhelmed with flower buds. I'm just still wondering about the flowers, whether the size is okay. I still think they might be just a touch too big. Hard to say. I mean, they may be okay. Maybe the leaves, I'm worried. Maybe the leaves are too small. No, yeah, no, I think the flowers need to be brought back just a little bit more. So I'm going to drop the age back to 0 and I'm going to just reduce, pardon me, the size of these flowers a little bit more. Again, like I said, I'm just going to do this freehand. Come on, Max. Alright. And again, we'll select our grow ivy here. And we'll grow it. I was explaining Sniper Echo, I've gone back to using Max 2016 because Max 2017 is way too buggy. So, just in case you're wondering, we're back in Max 2016 now. As far as I know, it has no problems. Now I'm just trying to decide if our flowers are sized right, and I think now they're okay. They were just a bit big before. Just having a bit of a look through our settings here. I just have a feeling maybe we should increase the size of the leaves just a little bit. What do you guys think? Do you think the leaves are looking a little small? Or just looking at it in relation to the rest of the model. I'm just going to pull in a bit here. I might try increasing the leaf size just slightly, so again I'm going to go back to 0 here. And I'm just going to pull the leaf size up a little bit. I think that's better. It just needed to be just a little bit bigger. And again, I don't like this purple color. I think what I'll end up doing is changing that to a red, just so it stands out a bit more on the model. So our buds are better. We don't have quite as many as before, which is good. I don't want to go overboard on the flowers either. I just want it subtle, not completely covered. And it makes sense that the flowers would flower more on the top of the model as opposed to down here at the bottom, because it's sunlight, so. All right. I think we'll leave that one there like that. And we'll start working on the other sections of the model, growing ivy on it. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want to make any changes on this ivy now. So what I'm going to, actually I'm going to leave it, but I'll show you what I'll do once I've finished growing the different ivy sections, and I'll, because we can't export this as it is, we have to actually convert it to an edit poly. But before we do that, let's just make a quick save here. Because this is 3D Studio Max and you never know what might happen. And again, this plugin sometimes can crash Max out of the blue. You won't get any autosaves or warnings, it'll just close the program. Generally it's quite well behaved, but occasionally it can do that. So. So once we've saved this out, okay, like that, let's exit isolation mode, and now we can actually delete our it's frozen, so I can't select it. Unfreeze, I can now select that plane and delete it. That was just there so that the ivy wouldn't so the ivy knew where the ground plane was, basically. So we have our ivy growing on that part of the banister. I want to grow it up on this angel statue as well. So the same deal here, we select the parts of the model that make sure I hold the right button down, that we think that the ivy might touch. So I'm going to select a lot of stuff that probably will never be touched, but just to be on the safe side. Alright. I might just select the stairs as well. And I'm going to jump back into isolation mode. Double check that we have enough selected in case the ivy grows wild, and I think that should be fine. Okay, I'm back. Hey Reknos, how's things? Oh, I'm glad you've been looking forward to the stream starting again, Sniper Echo. I've been looking forward to coming back and chatting to you guys. It's always fun. No guys, you haven't missed anything. This is the first stream since I went on break over Christmas and New Year, so. And it's good to see you guys back and in chat. I really do appreciate it, guys. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the stream because like I said, I enjoy chatting to you guys and I'm working on stuff with you, so. And I like looking at your work as well, so Galen was showing me some of the stuff he was working on and it's looking great. So it's always good to have you guys around. Galen kept you occupied. I'm good to hear, Sniper. Okay. And it's good to see you too, Rachnos, if you're still around. Now let's see. We're going to throw down a grow ivy again here. I want to grow some ivy on the statue. Yeah, Galen's is a Phil surrogate, that's right. Yeah, it helps too because we don't generally stream at the same time, Galen and I, so you've got plenty of 3D to watch. Yeah, so I want to grow some ivy on this statue here, and like I was saying, I've moved back to using Max 2016 because Max 2017 is way too buggy. So I love the software, I love Autodesk 3D Studio Max, and just this is the first time that they've made something, a piece of their software that's just completely broken, basically. So let's pop that there and jump into our top viewport so we can move it into position. I think I want to start it growing, we'll try starting it growing from the base of this circle. I may need to move it closer in though, we'll see. I want to move it down till it's just above the ground plane here. Alright. Now I did realise I think I may have to jump back out of isolation mode to select our flowers. So I'm just going to select everything so it's easy for me to jump back again. Well, I end isolation here. And I just want to select our flowers as well. So I'm holding down the control key and selecting them. Now we can jump back into isolation again. Let's select our grow ivy. Find our flowers. We're going to do the same thing. So we've got the bud here for number 1, the open flower for number 2, and the closed flower for number 3. You can actually save your settings between the in this plugin as well if you don't want to reset it up from scratch each time you use it. I generally will use that, but I'm not going to do it this time because I want this one to look a bit different from the one at the front. So we have our flowers selected, we have our materials. It still remembered that we're using 6. It still remembered our settings, as you can see, 1, 10, 5, 25 and 25. I want a few more flowers I think though on the statue, so I'm going to dump up that to 15. Just in the main branch, old branch and young branch. We'll leave the rest of them the way that they were. So my only concern is that back wall. I may actually select these and select the back wall as well, I think. Just in case the ivy spreads out a bit more than I thought it would, because it may do that because it's so low here on the ground at the front. Alright, let's position our viewport here. Just check our settings. You can change the seed value as well if you want it to look completely different. It's going to grow differently anyway, so it's usually not necessary. So we'll just look at our settings to make sure that we've got everything set up properly, and that all looks good. Just going to check my bigger leaves is good. Still remembered that setting. Let's grow our ivy. This is what I was afraid of. It was going to spread out more along the bottom than grow up the statue, so I'm going to pause the growth there. And I'm going to set it back to 0 and move the ivy point here in a bit. So instead of starting it down the bottom there, I'm going to start it up at the base of the statue itself. I'll just move it in a bit. Okay, let's try that again. I'm just going to pause it for a minute and see what it's doing. I have a feeling it's growing on the inside of the statue again. It is. Remember when we were doing the front border here, we had this problem where the ivy decided it was going to grow on the inside of the statue, and that's what's happening here. So let's just zero this back out again and fix that problem. And again, that's happening because in Max 2017 I used the mirror command to create the statue from the one over on the right, so, and it's flipped it. So just select the statue. If you're using Max, then go into your Modify tab here, Utilities tab rather, and throw down a Reset X form. I'm going to throw an Edit Poly on top of that. I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to flip. Now I'm just going to collapse that stack. You don't have to, but I don't like to keep modifiers in my stack if I don't need to. So basically I did a Reset X form, then I flipped the polys. So let's try it again. We'll select our Grow Ivy. We'll try and see what happens now. I'm just going to pause it there and check it again. Okay. And you see now it's recognized the outside of the model. It's not growing on the inside of it. Now I'm actually going to, you could let that grow and let it keep growing as much as you like. I generally like to have a bit more control over how it's going to look than that. So instead of me just using this one here and letting it grow and hoping it's going to grow in the right parts of the model that I want it to, I'm actually going to throw down another one. So let me just check the look of that first though. And I don't like the way it's really, there aren't enough leaves on it basically. So let's look at our Grow Ivy here. It's too sparse. It's not throwing enough leaves on the ivy itself. So I'm going to take the age back to 0. I'm going to go into my leaf parameters here, and the density is the one I want to change. I'm going to up that to 0.6, I should say. We'll grow it again and we'll have a look. And again, I've pulled it back to only using 4 threads because I want to keep enough left so that OBS doesn't crash out on me. I'm going to pause it there. But the more threads you have, the faster it'll grow and work. Okay, now I have a feeling it's a few too many flowers on this. So let's again, let's pull it back to 0 and change some of our parameters down here. I think upping it to 15 for the open leaf flowers was a bit too much, so I'm going to knock that back to 10 again. Okay, and now let's grow our ivy again. Pull out a little bit here. We'll pause it there and have a look. So we have some of our half open flowers, our fully open flowers. And a couple of buds here and there. I'm just trying to decide whether it's... Yeah, that's not too bad. I was going to say maybe still too many flowers, but I think that's okay. But I think what I'll end up doing here is... I don't want to cover the statue completely with flowers because I want to be able to see the actual statue itself. You don't want to hide it too much. But I think what I may do is grow another one here up the back. We'll see what that looks like. If we don't like it, then it's easy to remove it. So again, let me deselect that. We're going to throw down another grow ivy. I'm going to pop it around here. And jump into the top viewport and move it into position. Let's put it all the way over here. And we'll move it down. It's important that you don't go inside the geometry though, otherwise it will grow inside the model. So go down as far as you can, but don't actually go too far down if you're using this plugin. I may move it around just a bit as well. Maybe around there. Alright, let's have a look at our settings again. Density is up, the leaf size is up. All those settings are still the same. You see it hasn't picked out flowers though, so we'll do that now again quickly. So we've got the bud, we've got the fully open flower, and we've got the partially open flower. All the other settings it remembers, it just doesn't remember the meshes you're using. Okay, let's pull in a bit here and grow our ivy. And again, these are going to be quite heavy polygon wise, so I generally run a optimize over them once I'm happy with the way that it looks. I'm going to pause it there. Let's jump out of isolation mode. I want to have a look at what it looks like with the actual model itself. Again, it's using the wrong leaves here, so we'll have to change that. I want to use these darker green leaves. But we're just looking at the overall shape to begin with here. And I may actually remove some of the flowers, I think, from this back section. It'll be a grow Ivy 3. Oh, no, it'll be grow Ivy 4. Again, I'm going to take it back to 0 on the age here. And I'm going to reduce the number of open flowers from 10% to, let's do 5%. Let's grow that ivy again. Doing. Okay, I was just thinking about it there for a while. I really should have just isolated before I do this, just to be on the safe side, but it should be okay. Like I said, the more geometry in viewport that the IB has to deal with, then the more taxing it is on the system. I'll pause it there. I think that's better. I just didn't want so many flowers at the back because it's going to be partially shaded, so you're not going to get a lot of flowering back there anyway. So just reducing the number of flowers back there, I think a little bit more natural. Alright, let's convert a couple of these from the vine to a mesh. So I'm going to select this one here. And I'm going to convert it to an editable poly. I'm going to do the same for the ones here. So once you've decided that you like the shape that it's created, you just select the grow ivy and convert to an edit poly. Like I said though, these are probably still going to be too high polygon, so you probably want to do an optimize on them, which I'll probably do at the end here before I start exporting it to bring it into view. So now that we've converted them, we can't alter them at all. Let me check the materials here though. Before I go changing my materials, I'm just going to do a quick save. Basically what's happening is every time you add a new grow poly object, it's using its default textures here, which means the default leaf meshes. And I don't want that. I want it to use the darker green leaf here. So we should be able to fix that by assigning the texture from the first grow ivy down the bottom there to the other two. Looking here, there's a grow ivy 1. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to have to check that. Up here in my list, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, but there were only 3 growing. So let me see what's going on here. Okay, it looks like I might have a grow ivy here that I didn't use. Yeah, at the back. That's probably from the last time we were using the plugin. Remember when we were testing it? Before a few weeks ago. I'm just going to delete that one because we're not using just here. So 2, 4, 6, 8. You annoying thing.
I can see emerald skies, imagination over time.
I've had this problem with the plugin before. It seems to sometimes just completely lose track of what's going on. And it creates all of these dummy materials that are not being used. I have a feeling it's something to do with the way it names its materials. You see how it's deselected these two that we had attached, which is the flower itself and the stamen. That's why these have gone black. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just removing these from the material editor. I'm going to select these. So let's remember the leaves here. That's the bark, that's the first leaf, that's the second leaf. But again, this is why we always save our work, just in case Max or the plugin decides to be a little annoying. That's the stamen, that's the base. That's the flower. And the flower should not have those two there. trying to work out, you know what, it's going to be easier for me just to reload the file. Instead of me trying to muck around with those materials, I'll do that at the end once I've grown the rest of the ivy. Basically what has happened is, every time you grow the ivy, it creates a material automatically in the plugin, but the plugin creates the same named material for each one. And as you know, with Max or with any program, 3D program, when you're creating materials, the textures and so forth, you don't want to name them all the same, because otherwise the program will get confused. So if we call it Ivy Texture 1 for the first one, and when the plugin creates the second one, it calls it Ivy Texture 1. The program can get confused, so that's basically what's happened there. The easiest way to fix it is going to be to rename the original material. That way, every time the plugin creates a new material, it uses its default name, but because you've named it manually to something completely different, then it won't conflict like that. I should have remembered that, because I've had that problem before with this plugin. A lot of times too, that's a good, if you're exporting a model, say as an OBJ, and it creates a material file, an MTL file, and when you load up your model into another third-party program, you notice your textures are all messed up. It's because the texture material names are the same and the program has got confused when it's exported it. So it's just something to be aware of if when you do an export on one of your models, if the textures get messed up on when you re-import it to another program, it's generally because the texture names are the same, like Material 1, for two different textures. And again, like I was saying, for some reason since the last Windows update, cumulative update, loading and saving files from Macs has become really slow, regardless of what version you're using. It gets there in the end, it just takes it a bit longer. So once we load this up, we have to grow the ivy on the opposite side, so we want to grow it on the wall and on one of the top statues. Come on. And like I said, I don't like the purple colour of the flower. I want to change it to probably a red. There we go.